Pleasant welcome, and I would like to first thank Dr. Sachin Ubale sir, Dr. Praveen Thorat sir, and Dr. Giri sir for inviting me for this wonderful session. Uh, Thanking first is towards the gratitude that I might forget afterwards to thank the actual people who have worked hard to provide me this platform. I would like to share the PPT, and we can start with the session. Yes, is my PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So, very good morning to one and all. Today, the session will be on the cyber laws in India, and also we will discuss about the portal, which is the National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal all over India. In spite of being a uniform body, it will be it will be the central channel which we could understand. So, as yeah, as we start with the session, I would like to provide a disclaimer that the presentation is merely a sketch of cyber law provisions in India. It is not to be constructed as a vertebrate of narration of the law. So, what is law? What is understanding law is? Law is the last sentence which is understood by the highest judge. We will understand in this particular pattern. So, being a student, what fruitful nature I would take from cyber law is a vast study of the IT Act. But always we need to carry our four bodyguards with us what, when, how, where, why to understand the purpose of this session. It is not an act, but it includes and it comprises of many acts and litigations like evidence, IPC and CRPC, now called as Bharatiya Nyay Suraksha and Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. The IT Act itself is a challenging study. Understanding the difference between HTTP and HTTPS is beyond a comprehensive capacity. So, mostly MBA students with business analytics, MBA students with marketing, MBA students with finance, MBA students with n number of dual or multi-dual understandings of the concept might be going through the comprehensive capacity of a lawyer. So, cyber forensics, cyber security, cyber law, anatomy, and cyber attacks. So these are the most commonly used terms for scamsters to scam. Basically, basically, the Information Technology Act is the second law of the Indian governing to file a particular understanding of the technology. First one was in the year 1885. It was the Indian Telegraph Act 1885. A brief history, however, the first recorded cyber crime incident was recorded in 1820. So 1820 means around 120 years back, 150 years back. Wherever there is evidence of understanding a communication between two parties, there has to be a record of transaction. For example, if I do a transaction of merely 50 rupees, I paid through my blockchain system channelizing Google Pay, Bheem. This will be my digital traces. We will see what are digital traces and how we will identify the traces. So wherever I do a payment of my expenses of 50 rupees, the payment cannot be deleted in the future, the payment cannot be edited in the future, the payment cannot be manipulated in the future. Once the payment is done, till the last breath, you can relocate those transactions into flat files. That is why cybercrime and cyber inputs are very important. Digital traces, we will see what are digital traces. Whenever I do a payment of 100 rupees, I just have to type the transaction date, transaction id will be your primary key, and the name of the vendor where I have given, that will be my evidence of transaction. Most probably, While seeing the history in 1820, Sir Joseph Marin Jacquard created an automated loom. This device was blended into analog technology and weaving through special fibers. This is the history. We are just understanding what happened, when happened, why it happened, and as we carry this particular bodyguards with us, what, when, how, where, why, we will see overview of this particular concept. The resulted feature was employed into a traditional employment like livelihood where being threatened. For example, commitments of act of sabotage. To discourage this particular new technology, Sir came up with a cyber crime record to be first recorded. So, but why cybercrime? What is the benefit? Why? What is the essentials of cybercrime? Now, the platform which Sir has provided, I am speaking. You have never seen me in physical, but we can communicate for the intention of a good purpose. Now, intention means what? In cybercrime, victim is always reporting after the incidents, but according to it, the preventions which can be done can be taken as the first step to the preventive measures. Whenever I take preventions like not sharing an OTP will be my prevention for it. So, whenever I take a prevention of not sharing an OTP, why do I not share an OTP? Because I do not have the intention to do that transaction. But in future, in further slides, we will see a case study that no OTP was required for this particular scam. So, why cybercrime? Cyberspace is completely different sphere of human existence because it is totally virtual existence. Here, only bots and algorithms can be working to have one particular transaction. No regards for any government or territory or authority to monitor it. If I write a mail to an Apple company that's stating that can you send me a location of this particular mobile phone or this particular SIM card, straight away they will say that apologies, our company policy does not support it. So, how do we trace then? To facilitate international norms, cyber law needs to be specific. Now, conventional laws are muddled up with cyber law structure. They are they are just muddled up with cyber law structure. But the intention of this particular act, IT Act 20, was 2000. IT Act 2000 was the act. I will just read out the act. An act to be provided legal recognition for transaction carried out by means of electronic data interchange. Now, here electronic data interchange means mobile or computer or computing device, mobile or mobility device. So, in this particular fraud or crime, what do a particular scamster uses? He uses a mobility device, computer, any electronic device, any computer device or any computing device, any mobile device or any mobility device. Now, why do I get frauded? I Why do I get as a victim? Because in India there are three types of people. One is literate, one is illiterate, and one is illiterate. Now, literate person means what? He can read and write. Illiterate means what? He is electronically literate. How many of your parents can book an e-cab, Ola cab? So, most probably the answer, maximum answer will be no. Our parents cannot book a Ola cab. It is our responsibility to teach them how to book a Ola cab, how to book a Uber cab, how to understand transactions of things to be done, because we are illiterate, electronically literate. So, once I am electronically literate, once I am literate, it is my responsibility to teach a particular person how to use that. WhatsApp we can use, Facebook we can use, Insta we can use, everything we can use. But what about our parents who are literate? So it is our responsibility to teach them. So here what the act says, IT Act 2000. IT Act 2000 means Information Technology Act 2000. And if anyone is found violating this act, the bail for IT Act 2000 is 2 crore rupees. You keep a security bond of 2 crore rupees, then only you will be left free from a particular commencement. Means you will be left free. No, the trial will be on in the process, but you have to report, and the bail bond will be of 2 crore rupees. So it is not that easy to understand IT Act 2000. So electronic commerce meant e-commerce, electronic commerce, computer device, computing device, mobile device, mobility device. These devices are used which involve the use of alternative to paper based methods of communication and storage of information to facilitate electronic filing of documents with the government agencies. So we begin with IT Act and its evolution. The General Assembly of United Nations, by resolving under the noted in 30th January 1997, had adopted this particular model of e-commerce by UNICETRAL. So, what these say, the states give favorable conditions to this particular model because need for uniformity of law should be applicable to all alternative paper based methods. You can use Paytm, you can use Beam, you can use any particular Google Pay, any particular app, but channelizing those particular things will be done through Bharat Interface for Money. So, what is Bharat Interface for Money? It is just the financial channelize. Each and every application gets an UPI for that particular thing. So, when I get an promotional international trade commerce, I have one particular channel. It is alternative to paper based method. Now, what is paper based method? I do a transaction and I have an evidence that I have given 500 rupees. I take a token of evidence, which is the instrument, can be a check or a receipt. So here my evidence will be proved properly that yes, I have done a transaction. But online, if I transfer money to a number at I have a transaction ID. That will be my proof of transaction. If a person is asking me 10 lakh rupees, I am sending him through NEFT, RTGS, or online mode. I will have the proof that yes, I have given that particular person this amount on this day and this time. If I give him cash, I will have no proof of evidence to be given. So, cyber law in India, aided by many other laws. Aided by many other laws means supporting laws are there. The first is Indian Penal Code, which is now known as Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita BNS. The Evidence Act, now known as the Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. The Code of Criminal Procedure, now known as Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Information Technology Act 2000, involving sections of IT Act 2000 cyber laws that matters electronic evidence of bail and anticipatory bail for being granted in every, from the lowest court, from the sessions court, from the trial court till the Supreme Court, the bail bond is 2 crore rupees. So I hope so that I have made myself clear back. So the Information Technology Act has three particular formations. First is administrative formation, second is civil formation or the civic formation, and third is criminal formation. So, administrative formation means what? I have daily transactions, and in those daily transactions, I have done a particular transaction unintentionally. Civil transaction or civic transaction means I am trying to help a particular transaction with my effort, and criminal transaction will be my intention are very dark, means my I have intended to do this particular thing by fraud, means grabbing anyone's mobile phone or taking any money out of my parents wallet is my criminal intention of fraud. Civic intention means yes, I am asking my parents that I will get bread butter jam, and for that give me 200 rupees. The each particular aspect takes me around 150 rupees, and 50 rupees are my transaction charge that I have worked for it, and I take 50. That is my civic chance, civic civil issues. Administrative issues means what? I have to pay the light bill on 5th. I use the money on 5th, and 10th I take borrow it from my friend and I pay my light bill at 10th. And the last date is on 15th. So that is my administrative aspect. Three particular aspect in simple language, in simple examples I have explained. IT Act of 20,000 as per administrative part. Now comes to the administrative. Now who is the an administrative? An administrative is the system insider who has recognizing e-commerce legal enforceability to authenticate of electronic documents, electronic signature, digital signature, methodologies of the process, a special adjudicating officer or a cyber law appellant to the tribunal. Now you will say, sir, I have been fraud, I have been bluffed for 10,000 rupees. Where do I complain? These tribunals appellates, or by mistakenly I have sent my friend 1 lakh rupees. I had to send him 10,000, but by mistakenly I have sent 1 lakh, and now the friend is not returning me the money back. Where do I have to appeal? In the appellant tribunal. Any transaction, any heavy transactions above 50,000, if you do, please concern your advocate as well. The role and duties are therein given by. First, the civil aspect goes with runs parallel to administrative ventures of the IT Act. Describes what constitutes civil infringement of rights. Publicize civil duties, and criminal part recognizes and provides for penal measures. Penal measures means penalty will be measured. Penal measures against the crime in cyberspace. Digital crimes or crimes against computer resource. Related issues to readdress, monitor, restrict, investigate the cyber crime is also provided therein. So only in criminal part intention is checked, whether the intention was of to fraud a person. If a person, whether the intention is to fraud a person or bluff a person or rob the money, the penal measures will be implicated. So now next, recognition of the cardinal philosophy of cyber inputs. Computing devices like computers can be abused. Now you'll say, sir, how can a computer be abused? If I want to fraud a particular person, what I do, point A is that person. I continuously call that person on point A node until the computer or the mobile device is totally victimized. And then point B will be there alternating numbers which I call and say that yes, point A has requested money and you can send me money. We are in hospital and we need to pay the bill of point A. B has no validations to be done through point A. B sends money in panic to C, and here we can see that C is benefited just because of bombardment of or abuse of computer devices. Computer devices, mobile devices, everything is the same. Mobile, mobile computer and computing devices, which are also mobile and mobility devices. So wherever this word computer is used, is it is absolutely with mobile phones also, computing devices also. Computers are weapons as well as victims too. So why do I treat computing device as a weapon? Why do I treat my mobile phone as a weapon? Today's weapon is my mobile phone, because if I see anything wrong, if I see anything bad, if I see anything totally corrupt, I start recording it. It is my public and private right of recording my into my self defense. If I am seeing a particular two people are fighting, and if I cannot report, I can record and then report it in under the Suomoto Act. Police will take rigorous action against it, and your name will be not disclosed. It will be totally confidential. This I will do for a safer society, safer security, for my sisters and brothers. I will just see to it that they are safe in a bus. If I am traveling and if I see a robber catching up with phone, I can click pictures. It is my right. I can record videos. It is my right. It has to be kept safe. Now, the term computer is wide amplitude of the view in IT Act. As I said, computer means your mobile phone are also computing device. Your laptops are also computing device. Your tabs are also computing device. Your uh, digital camera is also a computing device. Any electronic device which is computing comes under a computer. So definition of computer: computer means an electron, magnetic, optical, or high speed data processing device or system which can perform logical, arithmetic, and memory function by manipulations of electronic, magnetic, and optical impulses. So each and everything which comes under computer or computing device will be taken into consideration. So it also includes what? It also includes input, output, and processing, storage, computer software, and communication facilities. Like even for an exam, I am taking a particular digital watch or I am having an earphone. This is treated as a malpractice. I can be barred for 3 years from university exam. So these are specific examples of a computer. Input device also can be treated as a computer. Output device, processing device also can be treated as a computer. I am taking a mobile phone with me to an exam. I am fooling myself. I am not fooling my teachers. I am not fooling the exam. I am fooling myself. I am copying and I am fooling myself. So here, which connect or relate to a computer or a computing device, like my earphone, it is connected to a computer device where I can get output, where I can get malpractice answers. So that will be treated as a this comes under section 2. Section 2 of IT Act 2000 is, what do you understand by a computer? Now we come to computer network. Means interconnection of one or more computers through satellite, microwave, or terrestrial line. Can be into communication media. Terminals or complex consisting two or more interconnected computers where or not interconnected are continuously maintained is a computer network. We are talking through the aspect of law. Okay, so then is computer resource. Now, what is a resource? Means computer or computer system or a computer network or a data computer base where soft or a software which gives me output. That is a computer resource. For example, your printer, it can be treated as a computer resource. So computer system means a device or a collection of device, like a pen drive. My pen drive can be treated as a computer system, a part of computer system, including input, output, and supportive devices, like including calculators, non-programmable calculator. So that is why in your exam it is clearly mentioned that non-programmable calculators are or can be used. Why? Because a programmable device is itself treated as a computer, and it is capable of being used conjunction in conjunction with external files which contain computer programs, electronic instructions, input output data of performance and performing logic, arithmetic, or storage revital. So the new amendment that defines cyber cafes. Now, most of you have visited cyber cafes, play zone, playstations. You have visited and you just use it. It comes under cyber cafe. Indian cyber cafe comes under section 2 of notation A. Then electronic signature. Now, what is the electronic signature? Electronic signature is any signature which I have electronic created to identify my instances. Communication devices, section 2 HA. Cybersecurity, section 2 NB. Indian search also, section 70 B1. These are sections from IT Act 2000. So, what is legal recognition of electronic records? So, how do I recognize a record? Morning, I had breakfast of rupees 100. How do I recognize that record? I recognize that record through my transaction ID in printed format or written document. If I give cash to uh, the person or to the canteen cashier, he will give me a receipt or a token, or he will directly say that Google Pay me or GPay me, Bhim or Paytm me. That particular transaction ID will be created. It comes under blockchain security. Now, blockchain security has a benefit that once transaction is done, no one can change, no one can manipulate, no one can delete that transaction. It is there for life. Satisfying the requirements. So, electronic record recognition, if any information is required in printed or written form under any law, the information provided into electronic form which is accessible so as to the usable subsequent. For example, I need to get a video recording or a CCTV footage of a police station, any police station in Maharashtra. How do I ask? If I ask that particular SHO, PHO, PI, senior PI, DCP, ACP level, they will give me directly provide me with the CCTV footage. No, there is a process of RTI, Right to Information Act. Under Right to Information Act, I can ask for electronic records of that police station. If I say I want to say that yes, during this particular incident, the police constable was not present in the police station. How do I prove it? I prove it through electronic records that you can check the CCTV footage, and I get a certificate of functioning of that CCTV footage from the DVR owner itself. So I need to prove it. The proof of burden will be on me. A general provision that recognizes electronic document, your flat files, your resume. If I need to scam a particular person, I will just in India, if it is for free, the cost is you. I need to identify this particular. I just ask for resume and your from your date of birth till your till day information is mentioned in your resume. That is why I have to be very cautious about whom I am giving my resume. Next is section 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 is legal recognition of electronic signatures. 6 is use of electronic records and signatures in government and its agencies. 7 and 7A is retention of that electronic records and audits. Means there is an accident happened at a particular junction, and after 21 days the CCTV footage will be vanished. So I need, as soon as possible, I need to lock that electronic record into audit. Eighth is publication of rules and regulations in e-gazettes. Ninth is no right to claim and insist on electronic documents. No right. A particular person, I have no right to record any other person outside my consent or his consent. Means if there is some accident happening, I don't have the courtesy, I don't have the courtesy to help them, I should not also record it. I will be blamed for that. That instead of helping a particular person in incident, I am just watching and recording, I am creating content. So that will be totally unethical. If I see an accident, my first right plan of action should be CPR, and then giving first aid. If it is not possible, I can call the police, I can call the ambulance, I can call the fire brigade for the recognition of that incident. And here I will be benefited because according to the court of justice, the person who helps is the person who has helped to survive, or a godly a good a person with good intention. So at the section 9 will be no right to claim and insist on electronic documents. 10 will be central government retains power to make rules with effect to signature type, manner, format, process, etc. After that will be my section 11, discussion of arbiters or the senders, electronic record, sender himself or a person authorized to order or to respond duly programmed on behalf of other. Like I use a chatbot of my company, and a chatbot is replying n number of garbage value. So the responsibility will be mine. If I get a call from Gujarat, if I get a call from Punjab, if I get a call from Bengal and stating that I have been fraud, so the report of incidents, the report of action will be the judicial understanding of that record of lands. Means the time I receive the call, jithe mi call receive kela, that will be land of incidents. So there I have to report call. The call came from where has nothing to do with it. States in section 12, discussion receipts and acknowledgement of nothing being stipulated. Any communication from addressee to address or otherwise. Any conduct of address that provides sufficient information to authorized. Means I get a call from Chicago of my friend, and he says that, yes, brother, this is me speaking. I have to verify him. Can you tell me one incident where we had met with an accident? I need to verify because in AI, I can clone any voice, any language, any particular person, and I can not believe on artificial intelligence. So, if a person is unknowingly calling me now, at the last of the session, I will give you my contact details. If a person is unknowingly calling me, my first question should be verification question, that how did you get my number? Where did you get my number from? If the sender is not giving you right answers, we got your number from database, we got your number from collection agencies, so you have the full authority and full right to discontinue the call. You can just humbly and politely say that you have not answered my question according to my knowledge, so we discontinue the call. This is how a particular SOP, standard operating procedure of unknown number, should be done. So, however, conditions may be imposed by the arbitrator via email, footer, or its statements therein. Email is also treated as an electronic evidence for proofing purposes. Overview of other admin provisions are 17 to 34, that appointment and regulations of controller and certifying authority. Section 35 to 39, obtaining digital signature on a certificate. Section 40 to 42, duties of subscribed excise due to care and retain of private keys. Now, what are private keys? If a particular person can be identified only through private keys, like student ID, student number, roll number, PRN number, these will be my private keys. Administrative character. Now, section 44 is the penalty for failure of flourishing information and return, appointment of functioning adjoining officer, powers of functioning and cyber law appellant tribunal. 61 is civil court in excluded from jurisdiction. So that is what I was explaining. If I get a call from Delhi, and if I am in Pune or I am in Mumbai, the action of registration of the crime will be Pune and Mumbai. The person has received a call. We will see into the next example, which we in the case study, which at the end we will discuss. 46 to 21 will be educating officer. After that is your offense in a gist. Offense in a gist will be, earlier we have simplified it in a civil provisions. Now a civil and a provisioning matter of amount offense due to 66 will be fraudulent or dishonesty, means ria. Mens rea will be established. Mens rea means what? Dishonesty and fraudulent. I see a gold ornament, I want to take possession of that gold ornament for my personal benefit. That will be robbery. So, step by step ingredients, these particular ingredients, when they come of fraudulent or fraudulency or dishonesty, mens rea will be established by it. It relates to, now this particular word is mens rea, is established. That the intention of fraud, that the intention of dishonesty, that the intention of bluffing, that the intention of robbery is proved. It relates to access the computer without the permission of the computer owner. I know the password of my friend, I can open his password. No, it is an act of fraudulency, it is an act of dishonesty. It penalizes any sort of unauthorized access or assistance. If my friend, first suo moto or first intention will be, have I asked my friend or have I asked my colleague to operate his or her mobile phone? If the consent of operating the mobile phone or a computer device or a computing device is given, then I have full authority to access that particular data. But if I don't have the consent, I will be treated as a dishonest person or a fraudulent person. Now, section 43 in nutshell. Whoever, without permission of the owner of the computer, secures, disrupts, access computer resource, network, downloads, copies, extracts any data with the intention is or damages the data, introduces, cost to be introduced in any viruses or contamination, destroy, alter, delete, modify, ये कुछ भी अगर आप करते हो, your act will be treated as fraudulency or dishonesty. Next is section 65, which is tampering of computer source document. Tampering means what? I am trying to manipulate. Punishment: imprisonment up to 3 years and fine up to 2 lakhs. If I am tampering on a road near an accident scenario, if I get a mobile phone and if I am getting that mobile phone in my possession and I am trying to destroy, you can hear my words rightly, if I am trying to destroy that particular mobile phone, I will be tampering with the documents. Next is penalizing or carrying a fraudulent or a dishonest motive. Means I have the motive of robbing that particular mobile phone. I see a person intoxicated on road. Instead of helping him, I am just snatching his mobile phone. That will be a act of dishonesty and fraudulency. Punishments under it will be sending off. Also, section 66A states that send punishment for sending offensive messages through communication services. If there is a sister, if there is a particular brother, where I am sending messages, where I am sending pictures, where I am sending n number of things which are offensive, means not accepted by that person, so that that requisite will be treated on me. The burden of proof will be given on me, that I have to prove that I have not sent it. But unnecessarily we don't get caught in it. Punishments will be imprisonment up to 3 years with a number of fines. Section 67 will be 67A will be punishment for transmitting material containing sexually explicit act in electronic format. So whether you have the consent of that person, whether you don't have the consent of that person, if this particular publishing or transmitting is done, you can get 5 years jail to 7 years jail and fine up to 10 lakh rupees. Now, here, exception in the form of exception is art, science, literature, or other interest of learning, where my interest of learning, where my intention is different. Like I read an Osho book, I read a particular book which have the intention of learning interest. That particular things will be undertaken as exception. So, punishment for publishing and transmitting material. I am especially saying it because of artificial intelligence. Even if I use a particular picture, I upload a picture, I give my consent to that particular software. So, punishment is same for children in sexually explicit and electronic format are given in the same. The parent or the guardian will be held responsible for the same. Convention will be imprisonment of 5 years up to 10 lakh rupees and 7 years up to 10 lakh rupees. So now we come under n numbers of cases, which seems 67 we say that prevention and retention remedies. Now what do I mean by preservation or prevention of that particular act? No communication will be prevention. Preservation will be retention of the information into intermediate diaries will be my preservation of that particular act. So here, offensive punishable imprisonments will be given and they are bailable. So we move now, straight away we move to the cyber crime portal. Now, what is cybercrime portal? I have been fraud for 10 lakh rupees. Where do I report? Where do I inform? Where do I launch a complaint? Everything I need to launch it towards the National Cybercrime Portal, taking in consideration the jurisdiction. At Hadapsar, at Fatimanagar, at Wanodi, if I have at Undri, at Katraj, the incidents of impact. I have received that particular fraud call at my home. For example, in Katraj. Once I receive that call and I see that my money is being deducted without my permission, or where the acknowledgement comes into understanding, like Commissioner Office Pune, I went to State Bank of India taking my passbook, and once I take the passbook, my transaction ID is showing that 10 lakh rupees are being deducted without my prior information or acceptance. I can launch a complaint there itself. The act of knowing, I came to know that here my amount is gone, I can report. Now, online where I have to report on the National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. You can see the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. It is handled by the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. You can take screenshots also of this particular thing whenever you get across a particular arrest. Now, yes, any doubt? Yes, any doubt?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, okay, no issue. So you can report to the National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal, which is handled by the Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center, National Informatics Center, and eventually National Informatics Center's Maharashtra office is located in Pune itself. So the relevant applications which are giving by sending defamatory messages, forging electronic records, bogus website, cyber frauds. Bogus websites means what? I The website looks exactly the same as to the original, like sbi.co.in and sbi.com or gov sbi.gov.nic.in. Any website which has nic behind it, nic.in is the official website. Or any website, any government website which has Indian Meteorological Department, imd.nic.com or .in, the domain changes, it is a bogus website. So in bogus websites, what happens or what is done, like State Bank of India, I try to log in, I put my user id, I put my password. The hacker knows that my website is bogus. I try to put the email id and password. He solves the id password and he saves the ID password in the database. And he goes to the actual website and he tries to log in. There, the ID password is right. He can easily access my account. Email spoofing. Email spoofing is just sending 4 to 5 emails at a day. Online sale of drugs. NDPS Act says that there are n number of intoxications which nowadays students are taking in, which we need to understand. Online drug sale is, NDPS Act takes around one and a half cr for bail. If you have found with 10% also of that injected or CA report is given, medical report is given, that particular sale of drug will be taken into consideration. I am not talking about drugs, I am talking about medicines. Webjacking, online sales and arms. So most probably whatever the acts should be passed, that acts are into benefit of humankind, because there is no answer on addiction. There is no particular, medical science has no answer on addiction, that a particular person is intoxicating himself and tomorrow he goes to a doctor and he injects medicine in him, and from a day after tomorrow he has totally been addicted free. No, there are n numbers of help centers for online drug sales or drug intakes or particular intoxications. There are help centers, like one is situated itself in Sassoon also. So what is this particular intoxication habit? It can be treated and it can, a person can be out of it with clear benefits. So you need to just talk to a counselor, you need to just talk to a psychiatrist, even you can talk to your teachers also. Next is online arms sales act. So I want an ammunition and online I am checking it, so it is prohibited. Webjacking is also prohibited. The evidence act. Now filing fir, I have informed you that online you can file an fir, and also the same copy you can submit it to the nearest police station or service center. So digital evidence in extremely volatile and difficult to preserve. Indian criminal justice system requires guilty to be provided beyond reasonable doubts. This is the act of evidence. There, action should be performed, transaction should be performed, then only intention can be checked. If those intentions are fraudulent, then it he or she can be proved guilty. So, in Indian criminal justice system, requires guilt to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. Evidence Act. The government shall notify who is the gazetted examiner for digital evidence. Forensic examiners, digital examiners, doctors, n number of forensic experts are given. The same provision is exclusively excluded all other cyber forensic experts, taking in consideration digital traces. Derailing tricks, keeping alternative time clock. Now, derailing tricks means what? This particular things can be affected. These particular things can affect your computer or computing devices, like changing the time of the clock. If I change the time of the clock, we can see that it is predicted into the thing is done. Means I change my time of clock and I state it to 6 o'clock. The transactions which I do now will be shown as it is done on 6 o'clock. Keep the PC infected with virus and Trojan. So Trojan is a lovely story that Trojan horse can be implemented in the form of a friend. Use of kernel modifies forms of OS operating system. Use of unknown applications. So I download an application, I give permission. I give permission of the location also. For example, people who use Snapchat, you give your locations permission, and exactly on which coordinate you are standing can be understood through Snapchat. So it is not benefited at all. Giving live statuses, like I am right now, I am in Pune Sarasbag. I click pictures and I put it on the status. Giving right live statuses will be an act of foolishness, I can say it. So use unknown application, keep PCs and defective modes on. Use hardware that is difficult to find. Never try any trick which directly correlates with an attempt to destroy evidence, because we have seen it that destroying the evidence or tampering the evidence will take me into jail without any action. Need of the hour is to strengthen the investigation mechanism by making it quick and responsive. So, as soon as I got to know, there are n number of frauds which are also taking place now, like n number of frauds, like for especially for boys, so girls, dummy girls account calls, or especially for girls, dummy boys account calls, and they record the video. And after recording the video, for the work of prestige, they ask for money for bribing. Otherwise they will send to all their Facebook. In this particular thing, victim is totally traumatized. Now here you don't have to worry about anything, you just have to report. When once it is reported, you are not the only one case. Keep that in mind, that if a particular victim is targeted, n numbers of time. Now in Pune also it is started that especially dummy accounts call a person for a dating app. They call and they ask to pay the bills of the restaurant. So this is particular fraud. And hotels, some of the restaurants are a part of it, that they have only a meal of 2000 3000 rupees, but they are charged with 1 lakh 50,000, 2 lakh rupees of bill. And due to prestige, people pay also. That is totally fraud. Now what the second point states, that educate whom? Educate the victim first in handling and processing search and seizures. So whenever I see a transaction, my first thing will be to have the transaction ID. Sir, this is the 200 transaction, this is my transaction ID, and it is not according to my acceptance. I have not given it to anyone, it is directly deducted. Now fraudsters, what they are doing, they are not removing money from one account. If I remove 2 lakh rupees from one account, the owner will be panicked or traumatized. He will report. I will remove 1 rupees from 2 lakh accounts. You got my point. Merely I losing 1 rupee will not matter that much, but I will not remove, the hacker will not remove 2 lakh rupees from one account. It will be reported. He or she, what he will do, he will remove 1 rupees from 2 lakh accounts. Have I made myself clear? That is the new technique. Even if one penny is gone from my account, I have the right to report. You have to join hands with IT professionals. Yes, you have to take cybersecurity experts advice, you have to take advocates advice, you have to take your teachers advice first. You have to take upgrade, you have to keep upgrading your collar. Now remember, there are always crimes of white collar. So there are basically black hackers, white hackers, and gray hackers. Black hackers are the hackers which fraudulently, for purposeful gain of money, they do hacking. Gray hackers means the hacker is near you. Your friend might be in, your friend might be your relative, might be a person who knows you very well. Means if I type uh, on State Bank of India, if I type my date of birth, so who is the person who can know my date of birth? Who is the person who can know my pet animal's name? Who is the person? The person that is a gray hacker. And white collar hacker means done in good intention. Means I have locked my PC, I forgotten my password, I take help of a white hacker. Prevention will be, you have to change your passwords. Yeah, so you can see on your screen that is a fraudulent complaint which was raised, for a fraudulent complaint from a victim on the National Cyber Crime Report portal. And as always, as I said from the very beginning, law is the last interpretation. The last interpretation of law is given by the last judge. And this saying is not mine, but obvious it is anonymous. If you have any doubts, you can ask. We have reached to the end of the session. If you have doubts, one by one you can ask. I will resolve the queries. Yes, any doubts? I can also see question. Any doubts? Please feel free to ask. If you have no doubt, that means you have understood nothing or you have understood everything. Yes, I can read one question. Hello, sir. What skills should MBA student develop to work in cybersecurity and legal compliances roles? Yeah, very nice question. I would like to answer it in a manner where expertise can be given. So, in cybersecurity or legal compliances roles, first I need to identify what particular aspects I am going through. Means specializations can be taken into consideration. First I take the specialization in consideration. Second, I take my knowledge, my prerequisite knowledge. Means I am from a background of computers, I am from a background of geography, I am from a background of for most probably from BA. So my prerequisite knowledge should be first understood. Yeah, have I made yourself clear, Ankita Maekar? Yes, if it is clear, you can type, or if any subordinate question is there, you can ask. Okay, Shruti Kamble. Yeah, Shruti Kamble madam is asking, can you share a real life corporate case where cyber law played a major role? Yeah, absolutely. Real life corporate case, I can share it, but I will just change the names. So, person A was asked to resign from a particular company and without any notice, just for cost cutting. So now what happens here? If a person is honestly working, the particular company, he or she, they particular decide that due to cost cutting efforts, an employee should resign. So here my stand was with the affected victim. So we had thoroughly explained to the company that only for cost cutting purposes you cannot ask an employee to resign, because his livelihood, his bread and butter, his family is all dependent on his salary. Okay, so what he can do, instead of cost cutting, they can reduce his salary. So without reason no one can, yeah, without reason no one can ask to leave. Next, yes, Miss Shruti Kamble, madam, have I cleared your doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, madam, absolutely. A question from Mr. Kushal Rodge sir is, how should companies balance business growth with data privacy and legal compliance? So exactly, when I become an employee of a particular business, I get data in format of my own understanding. Most probably data privacy. Now, frankly speaking, that companies don't want to inform their investors data. Whenever you see, you as MBA students also, you never know the investors details. You can get each and every detail on the company's portal, the asset, the financial stability, the financial audit report, yearly audit report, quarterly audit report, everything you will get, but you will never get investors detail. So that will be the privacy. Yeah, that will be my privacy of the company, because company itself is a living organization. Itself, it has a pan card, it is treated as a living person. Means company A is there and I am an employee B and I have colleague C. So all together three can be stated as we, but we are working for company A. Company A is not of my ownership. Company A is not of C's ownership. So that comes under data privacy. Exactly. Yeah. Because of ethics. Yes. Yeah. One more doubt is there. Is there any new amendments coming into cyber laws? Most probably, amendment is something which is just detailed about the old law. So even if you know what is a computer computing device, these were laws designed for pager. Now they are eventually used for any computing device. So the amendments will be, the upcoming amendments will be synchronized with the old device itself. Mahadevi madam asks, what certification or course would you recommend for BBA student interested in cyber law? Exactly. In your internship, in your BBA itself, there is a aspect of internship. So, most probably CID office, most probably government agencies, most probably forensic department needs interns. So, if you get inculcated with them, certification will be skills which I develop, and taking internship from these particular organizations will be skills which I have implemented. So I would rather going for certification, I would opt or I would go for an internship with that background. Because certificates, you can go to, you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on NPTEL, you can pay 1000 rupees and you get yourself certified. But developing skill is something very different. Chaudhary madam asks, what best practices should businesses adopt to stay legal safe in digital environment? So best practices are to have a clear word of agreement with the party. Now, clear word of agreement means what? I thought it would work so. So it, the company should not be going on your thinking. It should be going on a written document. The particular written amendment, written, even a small society works on its own amendments or its own constitution. So their bylaws can be inculcated, clear bylaws, clear. Whenever you see doubt, you can mention it down and you can clear out the bylaws. So best practices will be clearing or being transparent with the party. Suhani Dedge madam says, how can companies protect themselves legally from online fraud and cybercrime? No transaction should be done except physically met. My clear answer will be no transaction should be done except physically met. Pooja Kamre madam asks, how does cyber law directly affect business operations and daily corporate decision making? Okay, how does cyber law directly affect business operation? Uh, yeah, into a business, I am there to work, not just to check the legalities. The daily corporate decision making understands through the mode of benefit. Now, here, personal bias, we need to keep it away. Like, if I want to go for a movie at 3 o'clock, so I will not keep a business meeting at 3 o'clock. I will keep it in the morning. So, that particular business decisions and corporate decisions can be affected. Now, here, how cyber law comes into picture, everything should be transparent. Arya Joshi madam asked, what are the biggest cyber law changes in Indian companies will face in the next 5 years? Okay, as I have said, law is the same, only interpretation is different. Means first I used to call a pager, then I called a floppy, then I called it a pen drive. So law is the same, but the interpretation is different. For example, first I used to use Facebook. Now I am using Instagram. Further, I am using Snapchat. The uh, medium is different, but communication is the same. After that, Anand sir, can you share few information about research plagiarism? Okay, research plagiarism. Exactly. Plagiarism means some particular person has invented or discovered a knowledge based thing, IPR, knowledge based thing, which I am claiming it that I have done it. So for research plagiarism, what I can do, I can give referencing. I can give credit to that particular person's work. I don't have to take away his credit. For example, Dr. Praveen Thorat sir has come up with a patent. So I can give references that from sir's work, sir's hard work of 6 months, I am taking this particular reference with his guidance, with his dueness, and I am inculcating those particular aspects in my research work. Means here also same thing comes, the thing of transparency. मी ट्रान्सपरंट आहे का, मी समोरच्या माणसाची परमिशन घेतली आहे का, हॅव आय टेकन द परमिशन ऑफ द पर्सन हू हॅज ऑलरेडी पेटेंटेड इट और हू हॅज ऑलरेडी रिसर्च ऑन इट. Yes. Vaibhav Giri sir asks, if the cyber fraud happened, what would be the first step? What would be the first step to report? Yes, exactly. You can see on the screen, as we have discussed, national national cyber portal you need to contact, and you need to also check in with your advocate, because the intention of that crime can be understood through detailing transparency. National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal. You can see on your screen. This is the first step you have to report your complaint. So you can see I have put one particular information. This is the information. The incident took place, complaint date is 25th December. Financial fraud, the victim received a WhatsApp message containing a link of RTO challan. Sir, आपके नाम पे चलन है, please pay the challan, and the challan was of 50,000. And that particular person, out of no knowledge, he paid. And afterwards it come to we came to know that it was a clear fraud. Okay. Yeah. One more question is there. Dr. Praveen Thorat, sir, what advice would you give MBA student to build a career in cyber fraud prevention and governance? Very good question, sir. Beautiful. Uh, Advice will be building a career in cyber fraud. Cyber fraud is changing its forms, so we need to upgrade ourselves. Like young minds, vibrant minds of MBA are very well aware of the frauds which are happening. They need to make awareness with their older generation. Like for example, I said that how many of your parents, fathers and mother, know how to book a e-cab or how to book a Ola cab? Most probably the percentage will be 30%, 40%. So it is my responsibility as a MBA student, it is my responsibility to prevent fraud. For preventing fraud, I need to first create an awareness. There are MBA students can have counseling centers for prevention of fraud. Inside, it can be treated as a career. Consultancy can be treated as a career. Like things which are done after fraud are totally legalized backgrounds, means you need to report the police, you need to report this particular thing. These are procedural things. But keeping yourself aware, preventing yourself from not happening, this particular incidents to not happen, I can advise that MBA students can build a career in cyber fraud prevention, basically with understanding the terms. Like we went through some jargons of IT Act 2000. So the jargons will be different, but understanding legalities. Like one of the student asked that what are the business things, business aspects or business ethics or ethical models we should be writing. So once the mission and vision is written, every employee has clarity. So MBA students, rightly, they will have a career in cyber fraud prevention and governance. Yes. Any more questions?
Sir, according to you, what do you think where we still lack, like after the cyber, like any malpractice happens with any individual, why we are not able to like recover that money, or we are not able to help this individual? Because this has happened with me. 50,000 from my account was deducted. Mm, like I clicked on a link, but then I did a police complaint. There was a whole like cyber complaint happened, but I never received my money back.
Exactly. That is what I am saying, that we know the procedures. If, for example, I have a bike and if my bike is lost, I just report into the police station, and afterwards, if it is caught at a unparked place, or if it is caught at a particular no parking zone, then only. In the case of money, what happens, the transaction which is done cannot be retrieved or revived. What can be done? It can be prevented. The same court orders that whenever the account or the account holder gets the money, first thing is that your money will be given back. But instead of doing this prevention, as I told that no transaction should be done on online mode, you should physically meet that person, understand the terms and conditions, understand the transparency, understand the ethical module. Once the ethical module is understood, after that confirmation should be given. Now I would like to add a particular basic example in one of my friend from Chicago. He is in Chicago, he is studying there. So there, if I go to a particular shop and if I try to purchase a TV, my transaction will not be considered. I take the TV, I start the transaction. Once I go home, I check with the device, and if tomorrow the 24 hours transaction limit is given, so after 24 hours only the payment will be done. There are flags in transaction. Here we are getting ease in transaction, that quickly we need to give money. Now, if I say that once money is gone, it cannot be retrieved. Why it cannot be retrieved? because for money there is no serious penalizations, but in further amendments it is going to be upgraded. So if I fraudulently take anyone's money, they can seal my property. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to keep a follow up with the same portal, you have to keep the follow up with the same investigation officer, and you have to keep follow up with the account which you have transferred money to, not your account, the accounts which you have transferred money to. And most probably these accounts are international accounts, mostly from Nepal, Gorakhpur, Bihar, UP, where physically reaching is not that possible.
Correct, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I have cleared all your doubts.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the session. Dear sir, on behalf of Matrix School of Management Studies, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude for your valuable contribution as a guest speaker on the topic cyber laws. Your session was highly informative, engaging, and motivating for all our students. So the session was exceptionally well structured, making complex legal concepts accessible and highly relevant to our students. Your expertise and practical examples, especially regarding data privacy, IT Act, or digital fraud, were greatly appreciated and have equipped us with crucial knowledge for navigating the digital landscape safely and responsibly. Thank you once again for your time, effort, and dedication. We look forward to the possibility of collaborating with you again in the future. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. It has been my pleasure. And as I mentioned that Ubale sir, Thorat sir, yourself have provided me this platform, and with this young, vibrant students, very interactive session. And I would say that any doubts you can contact me anyhow, anywhere, on any platform. It will be my pleasure surely to help you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Uh, Students, attendance will only be recorded after submitting your feedback for the session. So please ensure you complete the feedback form before leaving. Neeraj sir.